With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly and a very special pre-Mother's Day show as we're celebrating moms everywhere. Those who are still with us, those who unfortunately may have left us and passed on. I wanted to put the call out to you so you would give us a call and let us know maybe some sage advice your mom gave you. Maybe you want to shout out your mom who's maybe not physically with you, but could be listening or could be watching even on YouTube or maybe Instagram Live. Or maybe there was just something that came to mind that made you think about your mom and you felt compelled to call in. That's why we wanted to hear from you. Let's first hear from Kathy in Anaheim. Kathy, how are you tonight?
Good, Mo. Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
My mom's been gone 10 years now, and I miss her terribly. She was a little Italian-American woman, the only member of her family born here. And so I got a very rich heritage from that, especially, her parents left a life of affluence to get away from Mussolini. And I've been dealing for the last couple of years with cancer, and I know my mom would be hollering at me to take care of myself and hollering at everybody to help me out.
Yeah.
And I was really missing her. And one night I had a dream where I was back in the childhood of my kitchen childhood. And I could smell her homemade pasta sauce with sweet Italian sausage. And it felt so comforting because, nobody can do a home-cooked meal like your mom. Am I right?
Oh, you're not wrong. In fact, I was going to ask you about any particular dish that she would make or that you miss, and you beat me to it. There is something about mom's cooking. It's more than just the dish. It's about the love that's connected to the dish and the memories connected to the love and also those meals. I completely understand. And I am so thankful that you called in tonight, Kathy, because you set the tone and you understand completely about the importance of mom. Even though she's unfortunately no longer with you, she still remains inside of you. Is that fair to say?
I think that's very fair. And my mom was a practical person who would say, use your common sense. Don't do stupid stuff. Make good choices. It was just, real basic like that.
And it stuck with you for life, didn't it?
It has. You know the phrase, someone could talk to you like a Dutch uncle?
I've heard it before.
My mom could do that with anybody. She could give anybody advice. If you screwed up, she'd tell you, but then you knew she still loved you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you pass Did you pass any of this advice on to your children or other extended family members?
Yeah. I told my kids, you make good choices. If you make good choices, you'll probably have a good life. And that if you want things like a family, an education, all of that, start making those good choices now.
Kathy, thank you for telling us about your mom. I'm sorry that Mother's Day can be difficult for many people, just like you. You have these wonderful memories, but there's a great sense of loss still connected to those memories. I completely understand, and I wish you a wonderful Mother's Day because you are a mother, and I also hopefully you have a peaceful Mother's Day, even though you may miss your own mother.
Thank you, Mo. You have a good evening, too. Happy Mother's Day to your mom.
Happy Mother's Day. She's listening right now. Thank you so much, Kathy. Let's go to Valentina in Cabazon. Valentina, how are you this evening?
Hi there. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad that you could call in tonight and share us some memories of your mom. Or let me ask, is your mom still with us?
She is. She is still with us, and she's a KFI listener.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Tell us something about your mom, maybe some sage advice that she gave you.
You know what? Before I get into advice, I just want to say when I was in high school, we'd be driving to school every morning and we would listen to KFI. And now that I'm in my 30s, I now listen to KFI because of her. And we follow all of the shows that you guys produce, and it's the first thing I put on in the morning on the way to the gym. And so I thought it was really special that you guys were doing this because I wanted to call and give a shout out to my mom. And her name is Terry, and she has been just an incredible person in my life, always so supportive and always helping people no matter what stage of life she's been through.
Is there any particular advice that she gave you long ago that you still remember and live by today?
So one of her advice, it's not a life advice, but it's actually just something that we do because we live in a Hispanic Mexican household, is to not walk around barefoot without socks. And it's just a Mexican thing. She feels like you will get sick or you'll catch a cold without socks if your feet are on the bare tile floor.
Did you carry that into are you a mother yourself?
I am, yes.
And what do you tell your kids?
So I do try to remind them that, they need to put socks on their feet, but they are feral children, and with Crocs, with wearing Crocs these days, it's pretty difficult. But my kids love to ground themselves, as they say, in dirt. So it's hard to get them to keep socks on.
Valentina, you brought a smile and a chuckle to my face. I love it. Once again, these lessons that we get from our mothers, they stay with us for life. We most likely pass them on to our kids as well. We probably hated them growing up, and now we swear by them as parents ourselves. Thank you for calling in tonight, Valentina.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good night.
Have a great night. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We want to continue with your calls. We'd asked you to call in at 800-5201-KFI. We want to hear about your mothers, whether they're still with us or not. Maybe there's some great advice. Maybe there was a great recipe, something that she passed along to you that you hold dear even now, many years later. Maybe you've passed it on to your children as well. So we want to hear about your mothers, maybe that mother figure in your life. 800-520-1534. We're doing this the rest of the hour as we pay homage and also celebrate the mothers to all of us.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, and we're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram, and we're listening to you right now as we talk about your mothers, your memories, maybe recipes that your mom had passed down. Maybe there was some wonderful advice that she gave you. And maybe it wasn't your mother. It was just a mother figure. Could be a stepmom, could have been a counselor, could have been someone in your church, someone who guided you, someone who helped you, someone maybe who even rebuked you and punished you on some level, but made sure you stayed on the straight and narrow. That's why we had opened up the phones, because we wanted to hear from you, talk about your mothers on this Mother's Day weekend. In hour 3, we'll have Name That Movie Called Classic. Of course, nothing but Mother's Day movies. Let's go back to the phones. Let's talk to Michael in Lake Forest. Michael, thank you for calling in this evening. Tell me about your mother.
Hey, Mo. Thank you so much for having me on the program this evening. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to my mom, Shelly. She is a very, very faithful KFI listener. We grew up, I'm 30 years old. We grew up listening to KFI. And I just have to say my mom is the most brave and courageous woman I think I've ever met. She spent, I have an identical twin brother, and she raised 2 twins and my older sister and I. And she was a waitress for over 20 years, and she would work at night, and she would be a student teacher, volunteer at our school during the day. And when I was 18, I joined the Marine Corps, and she signed on the dotted line. And it was my dad who was hesitant on me joining the military, but my mom was like, yes, you're going to do this. I'm totally supporting you. And she was just so courageous, and she really just wanted to foster that independent spirit and just, we can do anything we set our mind to. So she signed that dotted line. And I actually moved back to California about 8 months ago, just because I recently received a OCD diagnosis, and she basically nursed me back to health. I was 25 pounds underweight and going through a very intense mental health battle. And she's been working with me the whole time, encouraging me to take the medication, and she's been on my care team and been nothing but a cheerleader this whole entire time. And I can say I probably would be dead without her. So I just want to give a shout out to you, Mom. Love you.
Let me just say this, Michael. First, thank you for your service and all that you've done for our country. That's very important. I want to acknowledge that. And also, when you say that you are only 30 years old and you've been listening to KFI like all your life, what was that like growing up and having KFI on all the time? And I'm quite sure you probably were not into it when you were a young kid, were you?
No, we were not. It was just something, my mom would be doing her makeup in the morning. We'd walk into her room and we could just hear KFI going off in the background. And that just continued to go on every morning, every night. It would just be on. And it was just like a part of the family.
Well, Michael, you have really, I think, filled my spirit and the spirit of everyone listening. Hopefully, your health is much better now than what you were telling us of what you were going through. But like all of us, when we're sick, there's nothing better than the care of Mom.
That's right. Amen. And you know what? I'll just say this, some sage advice that she's given me recently in this battle has been, you have all the tools that you need. And, she's just been that cheerleader that I can do hard things. And so I love you, Mom.
Amen to that. Michael, have a great Mother's Day weekend, and hopefully we'll get to hear from you again in the future.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Let's go to Rebecca in Del Mar. Rebecca, thank you for holding. Tell me about your mom or the mother figure in your life.
Hi. So there's not a day goes by that I just miss my mom so much. I do anything just to get like a hug, just to hear her voice again. She passed away in about the year I graduated. I went back to school for my master's at USC. It was a battle, and I regret not visiting her as much. She lived about an hour away from me. Ironically, she is resting at the Miramar Cemetery, which is like not even 2 miles from where I live. So when I'm off the freeway, I'm like, hi, Mom, I'll talk to her. I miss her green enchiladas. I miss her jokes. When I was in college, she would have the key to my apartment and come over, and she would kind of like get upset saying, I can't believe that you don't make your bed in the morning. And I'm like, Mom, I'm a busy college student. And she said, all you're doing is inviting the devil to sleep with you. And one day I said, maybe one day I do want the devil to sleep with me.
Oh, good. I know that didn't go over well.
No. So I miss her a lot. I know she's resting peacefully, and she's very proud of me and my kids. And she's a great example. Just like the previous caller, she volunteered a lot. A huge advocate. She was also a foster parent at one point, raised 7 kids on her own. And I thank you so much for doing this, Mo, for all of us. I appreciate it. And tomorrow is actually Mexican Mother's Day. It's always on the 10th, no matter what day it falls on. So we're blessed to have those 2 celebration days back to back.
Rebecca, before I let you go, I have to ask you, is there anything that your mom told you or reprimanded you for that you reprimand or expect of your kids now, beyond maybe making your bed?
Oh, boy. I can't really remember right now. But she was, when she would discipline, my parents were not great at all that. Like, they'll say, you're grounded, and then they forget about it. I think because there were so many of us in the household, they would forget about which one to discipline. And I'm the youngest, so I kind of got like the better end of the deal. But you know what? There's one thing she did that we'll never forget. She waited in line 12 hours and then went to work to cook at a restaurant right after, staying in line for 12 hours for Duran Duran tickets. Remember back in
Hungry
the day,
like the wolf. Yes.
Yes. And then they would give out the stupid wristbands. It was crazy. I cannot believe she did. And I was only in 8th grade at the time. And she didn't complain at all. She would just talk to everyone in line. Yeah. So just those little things that she did was just incredible. And I do the same thing for my daughter, like the Taylor Swift tickets or Katy Perry. So it's like, yeah, we do those things. Thank you so much again, Mo. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Rebecca, thank you for those anecdotes. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day in your own right. Thank you so much for calling in tonight. Have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend, and hopefully we get to hear from you again in the future.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. More of your calls this Mother's Day weekend as we salute, we celebrate, we remember, and we honor the mothers and mother figures in our life.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly as we're moving towards Mother's Day. I guess you could call it Mother's Day weekend. And we're still live on YouTube if you want to see what the show looks like, especially on an occasion like this. We're live on Instagram, but it's not about me. It's about you. It's about your stories, your memories of your mothers or mother figures in your lives. Maybe there was some great advice that she gave you, a great recipe, or just maybe you don't even have fond memories of your mother, but she still made an impact on you. She maybe is no longer with us, but she might be the guide for how you raised your children. And maybe you passed on some of her wisdom or recipes or some of her discipline to your children. That's why we opened up the phones and we wanted to hear from you. 800-520-1534. Let's go back to the phones as we celebrate and honor and remember all of our mothers and mother figures in our lives. Let's talk to Sean in Sherman Oaks. Sean, good evening. Tell me about your mother.
My mom was a nuclear materials scientist.
Keep going.
She was great. She was my best friend. And the best gift she ever gave me was my brother.
What's the age difference between you and your brother?
3.5 years.
How long has your mom been gone?
10. She died on Turkey Day.
What do you usually think about?
This is hard. This is hard, man.
It's all right.
Yeah, you know what? Me and my ex-girlfriend used to call my mom when we had like a question. She was so smart. I'm smart, don't get me wrong. But man, my mom was so smart. She could just answer something on a whip of a dime. I miss my mom.
What do you think your mom would say right now if she were here? Would she say, clean up your house? Would she say...
No, I'm a Virgo. My house was spotless.
Was she very strict?
Yeah. She was strict but lenient.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up in the 70s. You know, pot was everywhere. You know, it's just like... But, you know, I just miss Mom.
There's nothing wrong with that. You need not apologize. What do you think? Do you talk to your brother during moments like this, during Mother's Day weekend?
My brother just left about 45, an hour and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. So you're still very close with him?
Oh, yeah. He lives around the corner. I live in Sherman Oaks, and he lives in Santa Clarita.
That's close enough. That's close enough. What do you think you'll do this Mother's Day weekend, even though it may be a painful memory that she's gone, but is there anything that you may do in remembrance of her this Sunday?
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Pam a thing of carnations.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll just pray to God.
Nothing wrong with prayer. Prayer changes things.
Well, you know what? That's one thing my mom gave me is to believe. And I still do believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Look, weeping may endure but for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Remember that.
You know, I just miss my mom.
That's all right. That's all right.
You know, and I got extra moms, and they're not mom. You know what I'm saying? You know, you understand what I mean?
Absolutely. They're not replacements for them, but for your mother, but they don't have to be. It's okay. That's why your mom was so very special, because there's no one like her, and no one will be like her.
Thank you for that.
Hey, Sean, I gotta go, but I do want you to have a special weekend. Even though your mother may not be with you, it is clear that she is still very much with you. And I don't know. I do this every single year, and there are a lot of people who call in who don't have the types of memories that you have, who don't have the type of connection that you have with your mother, and their mothers might even still be here. So I would consider you, my word, blessed to be able to have such positive memories of your mom, and also someone that you can share those with who also knew her in your brother. So she may be gone, but she's clearly still with you.
Thank you.
Sean, will you call us again sometime?
Yeah.
All right, then have a good weekend as best you can.
I'm going to have a great weekend.
Amen to that. It's Later with Mo Kelly. If you're holding on right now, Jerry in West Covina and Kelly in Long Beach will be coming to you next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
This hour has been all about you, and actually all about your mothers. We've been asking for your anecdotes about mom. We've been asking about the stories in which you want to share about the special nature of your mom. Maybe there was some great advice. Maybe there was a time she disciplined you and you use that to discipline your children now. And maybe you don't have fond memories of your mother. I'm not going to lie to you and say that everyone had a fantastic relationship with their mom or mother figure. That would not be true. But I definitely wanted to hear from you about your mom and why, in one way or another, she is or was so very special. And so we put the call out to you, and you've responded. And there is no wrong emotion to feel. There is no wrong emotion to feel, because Mother's Day is, for many of us, a very emotional time. With that in mind, let's talk to Jerry in West Covina. Good evening, Jerry. Tell me about your mom.
Hello, Mo.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Happy Friday. Mo.
Yes.
The memory of my mother, because I'm crying. In 1984, I joined the United States Army. She didn't know. My father didn't know. And a van comes pick you up at 4 a.m. That's the time that my dad would go to work. And to my mom, I'm still a little kid. And I had a bowling bag, and that's where I put my clothes in to go join the army. Mom goes, "What's that band's doing down there?" Because we lived in a 2-story house. Up there in the street is down in the bottom. And my dad comes out, "I don't know, they're neighbors or whatever." I go, "Mom, that's for me." And he goes, what do you mean that's for you? I go, well, I just joined the Army. And that's the first time I saw my mom slap my dad. You're sending my son to war. And that was during the Cold War, for instance, for say. But my mom was so scared of losing her little boy. You know, she saw me as a kid again. And I go, no, Mom, everything is going to be okay. And, okay, went and joined the Army. And I was stationed in Korea. I used to tell my mom, you know, I wrote her all the time because there was no internet or phones or nothing. But I used to get a one time a month, a 5-minute phone call from Korea and call her, Mom, everything is okay. But I used to write her all the time. But I used to always tell her, Mom, because in the Army they give you the Army food. She would send us, like, I would ask, can you send us canned menudo and stuff, you know, canned Mexican food. Because I'm a Mexican.
Hey, Jerry, let me jump in there. What was in her menudo?
Huh?
What did she put in her menudo?
My mom's menudo?
Yes.
It would be the beef tripe, but they would she would boil the pig's feet on the side. People put the beef feet, but no, my mom would boil the pig's feet on the side because it had too much fat, and then the hominy, the corn, the hominy. And, you know, after she would mix it, sans the pig's feet juice, you know, you would dump that.
Hey, Jerry, I asked you that because I knew that you would know the answer to that, because she's made such an indelible mark on you, and I'm sorry that she's gone. But like so many people that we've heard from tonight and who are watching in the chat on our YouTube stream, she will never be forgotten, and she will always serve as a very important person in your life presently. Even though she may be gone, she is still of the utmost importance. And also, as I said before to someone else, I want to thank you for your service, because if not for how you were raised, you may not have been willing to serve. So I thank you for that. And Jerry, I have to go at this point, but I want you to remember that even though your mother is gone, she clearly is still impacting your life in a very positive way. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I just give me one word. Chicharrón con chile.
Okay.
Chicharrón con chile.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know who else knows it in there. Oh, man, she taught me how to make it, and I know how to make it. But I know that's because, you know, it's really bad for your heart and all that other stuff. But you only eat it once a year.
Yep.
Believe me.
Thanks to Mom.
It is bomb. You only eat it once a year.
Hey, Jerry, I got to run.
Yes.
But thank you for calling.
No, that's cool. I understand. And I thank you, Mo.
Absolutely.
And to all and everybody. Hey, thank you guys. You guys all have a happy Mother's Day for your moms.
Happy Mother's Day for you as well. Keep your spirits and thoughts on Mom this weekend.
I will.
All right, be well, Jerry. Let's go to Kelly in Long Beach. Kelly, tell us about your mom.
My grandmother was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bad situation of abuse, but not to go into any of that, but I only know a mother's love because my grandmother she did everything for me. She was always there for me. She taught me how to cook, to be kind to people. She made the best pies in the world. She taught me how to do all the cooking of the things that I do make now. I could never make one grandma's pies. Pies are a difficult thing to make. Those crusts, they're hard, but God, they were just so good. And she's always with me. I miss her so much. But she's always with me. She worried about me a lot, too. You know, she always worried if I was going somewhere or going swimming somewhere. She was always afraid, there'd be an accident.
Mothers worry.
Or something. And
grandmothers worry. That's what they do.
I know. And you know what? I turned out, I'm a worrier now, I think even worse than she was. And she used to drive me nuts.
Right.
I would go somewhere and I'd say, okay, I'll be back at 9:00. And I'd actually get in early, say maybe 8:45. And she was already outside pacing up and down the sidewalk. And I was just like, oh, man. But she passed it on to me.
Yes.
She passed on a lot of good things, Mo. And, we used to listen to the radio all night, talk radio. So I do that. Right now I have KFI on. My radio just goes all day and all night. And I think I enjoyed that so much with my grandma. We'd, be laying in bed at 11 or 12 o'clock and the talk radio would be on. And my grandfather was on the fire department, so when I wasn't with her, she, would have her radio. And you guys keep me company because I'm pretty much alone now. So I just think the shows are fantastic. They're so enjoyable. They really are.
Kelly, thank you for the compliment, but I'm more impressed by your grandmother, how she was able to instill some things in you, some skills she gave to you, some recipes that she gave to you. And it sounds like, Kelly in Long Beach, you turned out okay.
Oh, well, that's debatable. I think she'd go box in her coffin sometime. She'd have to. Bless her heart. But everything always turned out all right.
I can say from where I'm sitting, it turned out all right, Kelly. And I want you to have as good a Mother's Day weekend as you can. Reflect on your grandmother and all the beautiful things that she's done for you in your life. And hopefully we get to talk again in the future.
Oh, that'd be great. I really enjoy your show, Mo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. I really do appreciate that because as far as I'm concerned, it's all about family. We're here to laugh together. We'll maybe listen to each other, maybe learn from each other. But at the end of the day, it is all about family. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere. The iHeartRadio app.
KFI is literally the KFI of talk radio. KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere.